Writing her series Sindhu which you can hear on Radio 4 next year. Please welcome Sindhu Vee.
All this heavy, heavy stuff going on around the world. Relentless, right? So much to be outraged about. Sexual harassment, Trump, Pruleith giving away the winner of Bake Off. It's just too much. And we all know what we need when things get too much. That's right, gin. And one more thing. You got it. Our mom. I still need my mom. In fact, I was so freaked out by all this news recently that I called her the other day and I just shouted into the phone, "What's going to happen to our future? What's going to happen? I'm so worried." And she said, "Oh, it could be much worse." And I said, "How?" She said, "Well, you could be dead, husband could marry the pretty lady, and she could be cruel to your kids." And I was like, "Mummy, that is very specific." And plus she said, "the pretty lady." Like, what does my mother know that I don't know, you know? But the bottom line is we need our mothers. And it turns out that this is true even if we're 80. Octogenarian Tom Keating, who lives in a nursing home in Knowsley near Liverpool, his 98-year-old mum, Ada, moved into the same care home to help look after him better.
You never stopped being a mum.
She says she likes to make sure that he has his nap every afternoon. She goes to tuck him in at night. First thing in the morning, she goes and wakes him up, says good morning. They hang out, they play games, and they watch Emmerdale together. Isn't that the sweetest thing you've ever heard? So I love Ada and Tom's story, but it's not totally unproblematic. For a start, Tom says he's happy. But to me, there's something a little bit weird about spending all day taking drugs and watching telly with your mum. I have a son, and I thought, what if this was us? And the small issue we would have is what games we'd play together, because I don't play Xbox, and frankly, he doesn't have enough money to make the poker worthwhile. But, if he needed support, I'd be there, because as Ada says...
You never stopped being a mum.
And you don't stop. Never. Because you love your kids. The fact is, you love your kids so much, it sucks. And the way you love them is irrational. When they're little, we tolerate how boring they are. They're sweet and everything, but they want to show you they love you by talking to you all the time. But everything they know, you already know. There's literally zero value add in those conversations. And then much worse, we tolerate them when they're teens. And you know what? You can't even complain. Because it's not their fault. It's their hormones. I think this is some kind of scam, because when I was growing up, hormones were not allowed to get in between how I behaved with my mother. If I ever said to my mother, "Oh yeah, I haven't done that," and it was my hormones, my mother would say, "Oh, I see. Come, bring it here, the hormone, come." You know what else isn't so sweet about this story? It's a chilling snapshot of the current young generation's future. Forced to live with your parents until you're 80. And then finally, they can get their own room in a care home. That said, I think my son will do whatever he can to move out ASAP. Because, Indian moms were a little bit attached. Or as he calls it, intrusive and overbearing. Which, to be fair, I wanted distance from my mom, so I have moved to a different continent. But here's the thing. I really wanted to get my mother's perspective on this story. So I decided to call my mom. "Mommy, can you hear me?"
Hello?
And I asked her if she thought Ada was right to follow Tom into the nursing home.
She was absolutely correct.
But then I asked my mom, "Would you do that for me?"
No.
Anyway, what's so interesting to me also about the story is how dynamics don't really change with your parents no matter what your age. Tom Keating is 80, and he said sometimes his mom tells him to behave. I think that's impressive, but it's really not that surprising, given that last month, my mother, she was visiting, and she said, "I will be on my deathbed breathing my last, but still teaching you how to make a properly beautiful rice. What is this white glue you are serving?" But you know, Tom's mom told him to behave, but it could be worse for Tom. Change just one detail. Man and his mother in same care home, sweet. Man and his mother-in-law in same care home, sitcom. Anyway, there we have it. I wish all the best to Tom and Ada, a story that shows the strength of a mother's love and also the ability for men to happily be looked after by women their entire life.